Shot Pouch, will you give the invocation, please?
Eroda, ujali heliga handes gyatno, kofsalane, Nivna dedosta, heldi dohest a hand of gilonstaneha, Nihuiske on hidohest do yukta gehenole, or spotly lohe legis gadu gehan. Father, we just thank you for this morning. We thank you for your many blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We just ask that you be with us among our meeting. Give us wisdom and knowledge for the betterment of Cherokee Nation. Guide us and be with us throughout this day. In your name we pray. Amen.
All right, Shelley, will you do roll call, please?
Yes, sir. For the last time, I'm going to have to do 2 roll calls. So, yeah. Cody Poindexter,
Honey?
Sasha Black Fox Qualls, Julia Coates,
Here.
Joe Deere, Kevin Easley, Lisa Hall,
Here.
Daryl Legg, Dora Petskowski. Okay. Then for those that were in the 2025 election, I need to know if you're here and if you want to be a member. So Danny Callison, Ashley Grant, Uriah Grass, Clifton Hughes, Johnny Kidwell, Kendra McGady, Joshua Sam, Melvina Shotpouch, Condessa Teehee.
Ahani, yes.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Shelley. I need a motion and a second for the approval of the minutes from our last Culture Committee meeting. All right, all in favor? All right, moving on to reports, we have cultural tourism with Molly Jarvis.
Good morning, and so great to be here with y'all this morning. I think I've gotten around to meet our newly elected counselors, and congratulations. And yeah, I look forward to working with you all through the years. Our report is going to look a little bit different today. I'm going to give some highlights from the written report that you received, and then introduce a couple of guests who are with us today. So from the report, talking about the Cherokee History course, we now have more than 1,000 participants who have taken the course in fiscal year 25, and we currently have classes scheduled inside the reservation and at large. So looking forward to reaching more people with the history course. And then with the Artist Recovery Act, we have invested more than $300,000 in direct spending with our Cherokee artists this year. We've had more than 479 artists participate in those ARA programs, and that includes everything from public art bids, museum programs, and art shows with financial assistance for those. We have construction going on at Will Rogers Birthplace Ranch, and that's an active project, and we expect to open that to the public in 2026. Also, we have an active project in Stillwell with the art facility that's being built there. So that is now under construction and will serve as classroom space, gallery space, teaching space, and then also storage for art that has been procured through the Artist Recovery Act efforts. And then sticking on the art topic, we have the 20th Cherokee Art Market coming up in just a couple weeks. I think Gail was handing out your tickets to that, and that'll take place at Hard Rock on the weekend of October 11th and 12th, and you are all invited, of course, to the opening reception or event on Friday, October 10th. So hope to see you all there, and it's our 20th year, and we're very excited about that. On something else we're very excited about is the document in front of you is the Cherokee Heritage Center. So I'm going to introduce to you Christy Newhoff, who is our chairperson for the Cherokee National Historical Society, is a guest with us today, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about that program, and then Travis Owens, VP of Cultural Tourism, will come up and go through the document with you.
Thank you, Molly. Good morning, Mr. Chair, council members. As Molly mentioned, my name is Christy Newhoff. I chair the Cherokee National Historical Society. I was appointed to the board right after or upon the creation of the new Cherokee National Historical Society by the Cherokee Nation Supreme Court. and I've chaired this board since the first meeting. So I've been working on this for quite a while now. My mother's family is from the Rocky Mountain area. The Rocky Mountain Community Center stands on my great-grandfather's allotment. And a few years ago, Chief appointed me to chair a task force to protect women and families. So been involved for a while, and I'm really appreciative of the opportunity to serve. So thank you first to the Council of Cherokee Nation, the past leaders of the Cherokee National Historical Society in 1963, and Chief Hoskin and Deputy Chief Warner for the passage of the Cherokee Heritage Center Act of 2020, which laid a new foundation for the plans we're excited to share with you today. And I also want to thank my fellow board member, Brenda Partain, who was also a part of the Cherokee National Historical Society in 1963, and she really was instrumental in making sure that this transition occurred smoothly. Over the last several years, the Cherokee National Historical Society, Cherokee Nation, and Cherokee Nation businesses have worked diligently to build upon the legacy of the Cherokee Heritage Center to prepare for the future. We worked on a new strategic plan which analyzed the history of the site, how it is connected to our community, recommended several actions to ensure we approach this project with thought and intentionality. Within the plan, our first goal was to continue operations of vital programs and services that the Cherokee Heritage Center had been known for, and most importantly, to protect the collection of art, artifacts, and archives that were declared to be in a state of emergency. In 2021, the Cherokee National Research Center was opened to provide a state-of-the-art facility to protect those items and to provide regular public access to them for the first time since the Cherokee Heritage Center opened. We've continued the celebrated Trail of Tears and Homecoming art shows, provided free genealogy assistance to our community, provide regular public access to collection material. And over the past few years, we also have studied the Cherokee National Female Seminary site and developed a plan to protect and preserve the site as we improve the Cherokee Heritage Center grounds in this plan. We studied all the facilities and compared costs for improvements and opportunities for revitalization. And I'm happy to say that for the structures that are not suitable for facility improvements due to their conditions, we have a plan to salvage materials and preserve and honor the history of the development of the original site. And most recently, we partnered with Anishinaabe Designs, a Tarot-certified firm led by Softy Architects, who have a history of working on cultural projects, and they've done cultural projects really around the world. The one most familiar to our community would be the design of the Crystal Bridges Museum of Art. And we have worked to develop a plan that is responsive to our community, connected to our culture, and honors the past of the Cherokee Heritage Center as we look to the future. And I'll say I've been really impressed with the way the team from the architecture firm has really listened to Cherokee people and made significant efforts to learn about our culture and our history so that they could really honor that in the work that they provide to us. I'll also note that the board members of the Cherokee National Historical Society have made site visits to other cultural centers around the state of Oklahoma to understand how those places, how they feel, how they flow, and identify some of the things that we want to make sure we incorporated and some of the things we might not want to incorporate into the Cherokee Heritage Center. So with that, I will turn it over to Travis Owens, who will give an overview of the plans. Why up?
Thank you, Christy, and thank you all for having us here today. I'm so excited to share what we've been working on for a number of years. First, I want to say we are grateful for the leadership of the Historical Society, Cherokee Nation businesses, your leadership and vision, and that of Chief Hoskin and Deputy Chief Warner. We're also grateful for the employees and all those that have come through the Heritage Center for the years. I've been working for Cherokee Nation for almost 20 years, so that makes me a little nervous to say that. But in that time, throughout that whole time, I've had the opportunity to work on projects alongside and with the Cherokee Heritage Center staff and leadership over the years. And I hope we developed a plan that builds on the work that's been done by not only them, the previous Cherokee National Historical Society, and I hope it's tied to the community. So when we started this process, alongside the Historical Society and other leaders, we also sat down with past employees, some of our national treasures, community members. We did surveying, we did stakeholder sessions, and we listened to what was really important about the site. We heard what worked great and what didn't work at all. And we've used that to help build upon this plan that I think pays honor to the past and also provides the opportunity to build in the future. So go through the presentation, which you've got in front of you. Okay, so this is familiar. So what we heard from our community members and what we've experienced through the Heritage Center is how connected the site is to nature. That's what sets it apart. When Christy talked about going to these other site visits and going to these other cultural centers around, which are amazing in their own right, the thing that's really unique about the Heritage Center is its setting. It's a setting that connects with community, connects with family, and is a place that kind of inspires on its own. Just being out there, what we heard from community members, what we experienced is those memories of walking through the trees and walking through the site. So people really had reverence for the ground. So you'll see that integrated into the site. Okay, so this kind of gives you an overview of the site. So take this whole approach to the project has been to protect and preserve the legacy of the site while building upon for the future. And we wanted to do that in a way that integrated the site into the existing landscape and didn't compete with it. So this isn't a plan to build a big building. It is a plan to integrate a physical structure in a natural environment in a way that responds to nature itself, but also is intentionally tied to different cultural elements that you'll see. So phase one includes the museum, which I'll walk through the components of that in just a second. Phase two is a lot of the functions that take place at the Cherokee National Research Center now. So this first phase we're going to talk about is what we'll be working on and break ground hopefully next year. Phase two will be a later phase. I'm happy to say, though, that the scale of the research center, we have plenty of capacity at this time for several years to build in that. So you might recall we built a 5,000 square foot temperature controlled, safe for up to F5 tornado structure. We have plenty of capacity there, and we've not yet reached public capacity in terms of research visits. So phase two, I think we can all feel good that will come in the future, but it's not needed at this moment in time because of the investment in the research center. So here you can see, which you'll get the chance to see later, we put this into a physical model so you can start seeing how important the trees are to the site and how the site, one of the really important things is we didn't want this to feel like a singular building that was just you arrived upon. So the idea is that this building is kind of tucked into and around the trees and the natural environment, and it feels connected to Dilugua, and it feels connected to the other elements of the site. So this is a model where you can kind of see, from that top level view, everything kind of integrated. Here's a rendering of what it would look like from the overhead view, so you can kind of see. Other than overhead, there is not a moment when you'll be on the site where you experience the building expanse in one view. So you'll still feel this intimate building connected into the environment. This is a look at some of the spaces we have today. So you will enter, we've reoriented access and arrival. What you don't see is, what is not on these plans today is this space we hope to infuse with public art installation. So our next phase of work will pull together some of our artists from our community, and they will help inform the future designs of this space. I imagine in that circle drop-off point, there's some amazing art installation that you're not seeing that will add another layer. But you'll arrive into this central gallery, which is a 7-sided structure. It has a reference to Council House, but it's not a literal interpretation of, but I hope that you can kind of feel that when you see it. There'll be a gift shop, a flexible classroom space for artists to teach classes, community lectures, things like that. And then the building is set up on this kind of axis that runs along a dry creek bed, which will have art installations and be another element that we will tell stories through. And then number 6 there, I'm really excited about this, that will be a space that's completely dedicated to Cherokee National Treasures. So the program that was founded here as the Lost Arts program will be really showcased as a central element with rotating displays and likely a permanent display for collections. This whole space is also going to be, the idea is that this is not a stagnant museum. This will be spaces that are engaged for the community, have working spaces in each gallery for our artists and community members. So that'll be as well in the National Treasures Gallery. Number 7 there is you're seeing that permanent art gallery where we will take the themes of that we're working on we're working on the museum plans that will complement this. But this will really be a cultural space to tell our cultural story, and it will partner with the story that is told at like the Cherokee National History Museum and our other sites. So this will be a layer on top where you can kind of get a deeper understanding of our culture. When we did those stakeholder sessions, we really understood that for the community and for folks that have worked out there, this is a place where they have not only engaged with their culture, but built a better understanding of it. So we want to do that for our community and public. You'll see at the middle there a cafe and other flexible space. Number 8 there is a changing gallery, which will host completely new exhibitions, but things like the Trail of Tears Art Show and Homecoming Art Show as well. Outside, you'll see those back steps. There is a garden amphitheater, which will seat about 300 for live performances and at a smaller scale. Okay, next slide there. Okay, so this is kind of the arrival. So what you don't see clearly is the top of these roofs will have, like the circle one, there's the interpretation of 4 directions symbol on there. There'll be cultural motifs here. And like I said, in that kind of middle central area, there will be some large art installation that we're working towards. Also, the materiality of this building is meant to kind of pay reference to an earthen structure. It's not so literal in these are renderings and concepts, but we're going to continue to work towards that. This is that 7-sided central gathering space. So this is a space that we should create a moment when you arrive in the building. The design motifs are meant to pay homage to some type of basket designs a little bit. And then you can kind of see the reference point to the council house, although not a literal one. Hopefully you see a consistency and intentionality for the materiality and everything. Okay, here is a look at that central passage, which will be an interpretive element that will tie to this dry creek bed that will catch rain during rainy times, and it will have an art installation throughout it as well. This might look familiar to you in your own community. When there's heavy rains, we see these places filled, and then there's times when they are dry due to the weather. So this is a look into that area, and what you're not seeing here, this is kind of, if you're coming off the main gallery, connected to the galleries across, there's this feeling of indoor-outdoor, and there will be art elements that connect through there as well. Another look at that. And then this is a look at some of the ideas of the museum galleries, how they could be the National Treasures Gallery, the Changing Gallery as well. You can start to see some of the materiality is inspired by different patterns and different cultural designs, and you'll see that everything from the floor that you don't see here, but the ceilings, the roof structures, everything like that will have an intentionality. This is just conceptual at this point. And then that garden cafe amphitheater, you'd say it would seat about 200 to 300 for kind of intimate performances and lectures and additional programming. This is a look back, if you look from the columns today, so you kind of see the intent behind that large structure. This is a 7-pointed star that has a direct visual connection and elevation connection to the existing columns. So those elements hope to talk to one another on the site, but this would be your view looking back from the columns today. Is that overhead look again? And then the amphitheater, which has been closed due to the conditions for about 20 years now, so 2 decades. So the intent here in this first phase is to, there are a number of challenges with this, which I'm sure folks are familiar with, but there's ADA accessibility, there's some structural issues. There's lots of challenges here, but we've considered how can we build on this today and pay reference to the past. So if you'll go to the next. Kind of see an opportunity for folks to interact with that site again. It has, for most people, they've not stepped foot in there in 2 decades. So we want to open that access back up where people can feel connected to the site again. If you'll go to the next slide. So here is a concept where we try to preserve that element so it can be built on in future with future phases as needed, but find a way to create some intentionality into a destination on the site as well. And that's also a place we're going to look to honor the legacy of the Heritage Center in terms of the folks that have come before, employees, board members, families, communities, national treasures. And so that will be a place kind of reverence and connection there. The seminary columns will still be a fixture of the campus and will continue to be preserved. And we will take some of the footprint of the seminary. We don't want to disturb the ground there, but we will complement the existing columns with a pavilion area, if you'll go to the next slide. So you can kind of see how that comes together there. And that's your view almost looking back from the museum. So you can kind of see this kind of gathering area for the community as well. And then we do want to establish some natural landscape and habitat back into the site. So that's what I have. I'm happy to answer questions of Molly and Christy and Brenda. And we have a national treasure live in action here too. I'm sure she could comment.
All right. Any questions for Travis?
Oh, we have another national treasure. You have so many titles that it's hard to keep up.
Counselor Teehee?
Yeah, I, as a former executive director of the Cherokee Heritage Center, the building that originally was designed by Chief Boyd, and I think it was constructed, I think, in 1967. It was an outstanding feature or a feat of architecture for its time, but it has long been outgrown, and unfortunately, because the basement is right up against that rubble field, water just sluices into that basement area, and it has been in dire need of an upgrade for some time. And when we look at what some of the other tribes in Oklahoma, some of the other tribes across the nation have done with their cultural centers, I am really excited about this, and I am also excited about the way that the natural world has been incorporated and how thoughtful the architecture is in terms of including all of these different elements of Cherokee culture. I can only imagine that when it comes to fruition, that it is going to be even better than the renderings, even better than my imagination, because that acreage out there is, Oskadin, it is a sacred space. And so for the architecture to be almost a part of that natural landscape is vitally important. And I just really give kudos to the Cherokee National Historical Society Board and to Cherokee Nation businesses, to the Cultural Tourism Group in putting together something that is so thoughtful. And we're looking at different phases. But all I can really think about is Mary Ellen Meredith has to be smiling on this somewhere, because she kept that organization alive for decades through her own personal philanthropy. Both her and Dr. Howard Meredith were such vital parts of the institution, and I know that she has to be smiling to see this come to fruition. And so I really appreciate the work that's been done. I'm very proud to be a sponsor of this, and I'm very proud to see that we're looking at breaking ground. It's a question I get from constituents. It's a question I get from people across Cherokee Nation. And so this is a wonderful day, and I'm very proud to be even a small part of it. Thank you for the time, Chair.
Good words, Counselor. Counselor Shotpouch.
Well, that's what I was, when you said Mary Ellen Meredith, I thought of several other people that's probably smiling down on this construction. And, and I'm glad to see that the pillars are going to be preserved, because that is
pretty much what made the landmark of the building there. And because as a young child, I remember, seeing that, and I'm so glad that you're all going to preserve that and good works.
All right. Any more questions for Travis? Counselor Patzkowski.
This is stunning. Hats off to all of you. Is this slide presentation available that you would share with us? And would you allow us, because I would love to take it into my community organizations to share with them. Is that something you're open to, or?
Yeah, I think so. And I will say the legislation has an attachment that it's fully attached. I showed you all a shorter version. Probably didn't feel like that with me talking, but it was a shorter version than what's available for the public. But yeah, we could do that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Any more questions for Speaker Kidwell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is just amazing. We get asked just at this last at-large meetings in Texas, down in Houston and San Antonio areas. We get asked about the Heritage Center almost every time that we go out. And I know a lot of the at-large folks come back in specifically and look for that and want to go and hold events there and go see things there. And it's obviously that I would agree that the people putting this together really put it together in a thoughtful way, and it's super important. It's very important to all of our people. Just from me, as far as the at-large side is concerned, I know they're really very much looking forward to holding those first events over there and being able to come back and see everything. It's an exciting time. Thank you.
Any more questions? Counselor Hall.
I just want to say how proud I am. It's going to be located in District 3. And, a lot of those pictures were circulated through social media, just wanting to know what the plans are. So I'm excited that we have the plans available for everyone to see. And I just want to say thank you. And I'm proud that I'm a supporter of this, too. Thank you.
Counselor Grant.
I also just wanted to add that this was beautiful. It's very, very exciting. As a kid, I remember going to watch the plays at the amphitheater, and we went there a lot. We went, for the play every summer. I had several cousins that participated in it. This is exciting. It's going to be beautiful. So.
All right. Any more questions? I'll just give you some closing remarks myself. I think it's phenomenal, and I've been excited from day one. I think it's just great. And I know I've seen the traction, on Facebook, all of the positives and what people's thoughts were. And I will say, I remember when it closed, people were sad that it closed. And I'm excited to see it opening because I don't think people realize how many people that this space serves. Public schools from all over bust their kids in just to see this. And it's one of the neatest things to be able to teach and give a space to our artists. It makes our artists feel appreciated, and so I'm excited to see this. And I think people need to be mindful of those things, So I'm very happy about this. But thank you for all y'all work. All right. Well, without further ado, we're gonna keep trucking along. And Cherokee Nation Language Department, Mr. Howard Payton.
Wow, that was incredible. I couldn't. Just so proud of you guys. That's. I know that working with some of them, they have long wanted this to happen, and online I seen the pictures, but it had nothing, nowhere close to the presentation that we just seen, and we all know that. When we see the actual building and everything that happens there, there's the presentation isn't anywhere close to what we're going to see. And so I think Councilor E is right that that place is Usked, and it's somewhere that we've built national treasures and we've brought back pieces of ourselves. And so it's a real good place, a real nice tribute to the years and years of people being out there and grasping onto every bit of knowledge that they had, and that's where National Treasures was. Multiple of them was taught and was able to pass their knowledge on. So, I'm going to try to be as short as I can because I realize the time here. Go over a few things here. Words that we've translated, or language department's translated, is during this time is 17,114. We've recorded more than 41 Cherokee speakers during this time. Wanted to talk a little bit about some stuff that I missed last time because I think I had to have somebody else come in and present for me. But one thing has happened that is exciting. We currently have 9 Cherokee-speaking families, and I think there's several of them that's on their way there. But that means mom and dad both have learned Cherokee or at least in the intermediate level, and the children are in the immersion school and baby immersion. And so it is something we're trying to figure out how to help them the best we can. But we have noticed that they will stay in Cherokee with their kids, especially the little ones. I'm watching them in baby immersion, and they'll just only speak Cherokee to their kids. But a lot of times when they talk with one another, it switches to English. So we're trying to figure out how to get older couples, because we've got a lot of older couples that speak Cherokee, to start mentoring some of our younger Cherokee-speaking families and that sort of thing. But that is a good thing to have. And so we're trying our best to figure out how we can have around 100 families and to be able to run their households in our language with kids running around. So that's part of the village and the stuff that we have there, where they have surrogate grandmas, surrogate uncles, aunts that's next door speaking. And so that's what we're working towards. Do want to say we have grand opening of Kenwood's new facility tomorrow. Would love for you guys to be there. We're going to have a lot of food and a lot of grease, and so if you'd like to be involved in that, we'd love to feed you and treat you so many ways that you'll like some of them. And so that's going to be awesome. We have a new cohort of Master Apprentice that will be starting there, and I'm just beyond approach of excitement. You know that feeling that Travis has when he's standing up talking? You could feel it. It's just glowing on. It's been in his heart. He's pulls out pieces of his heart and he shows you on video, right? That's some of us that's been involved, and I know there's some that's on this council. We've had this desire to make sure that the northern area of Cherokee Nation is represented in that distinct type of linguistic differences and colloquialisms is being preserved, and I think this is the first step of many that will preserve that. So that's going to be awesome. Tomorrow afternoon we'll have a graduation for a Master Apprentice. I do want to touch a little bit on our new middle school that's being built. In that middle of that, we give that building's built on the equinox, and so September 22nd, just a few days ago, it's generally on the 21st, but this year it was on the 22nd. The equinox is there, and the architects are wanting to make sure that they've got everything right, and so there's a stickball pole in the middle of that's going to, on the equinox, will cast a shadow to a hearth in the center of the hearth, and you can see that through the opening when you drive up, the big glass opening that's going to be there. And those that was able to be there was just astonished. I mean, everybody's a little bit nervous because calculations is what happens, and you think that it's all going to work out. And 6 o'clock, they was marking it with their orange paint. You know, we're where that shadow was, and just as the sun went down, it cast that shadow directly right in the center where it's supposed to. And so there's something that's remarkable that's going to be happening there, and it's how we've built a lot of our old mounds and how we built a lot of our old structures, and with that in mind, and so that building's been built that way, and so I'm excited about that. We have a program that's fairly new. We're calling it a TIE program. It's a Teachers Institute of Excellence, and I'm really excited about that. One thing it does is it takes people that's graduated from Master Apprentice, puts them in there for a couple of years, giving them teaching abilities, lifts their language up proficiency, where they start going into advanced mid or sometimes higher, hopefully. And they teach different teaching methodology, teach different second language acquisition understandings, and child development and that sort of thing. We're doing that in our language. What is good about that side of this new component that's happening with this is the first two that we've worked in, we've put them in the community. The first two that we've graduated from that, we've put them into the school now, and they're substituting for teachers that has been teaching students, has a class, and they haven't been able to study like when you're not being fed. Sometimes your language starts to plateau. So we're pulling them out for a semester, putting substitutes, very well qualified substitutes, in them 2 classrooms, and we're teaching them different methodologies, and we've studied them particular classrooms. If there's certain subject matters that we need to help translate, certain curriculum that we need to help with, then we'll put them back in there and rotate another 2. And so this program keeps building our teachers up higher and higher and higher in proficiency and in teaching methodology and curriculum. So that's an outstanding program that's being built. Of course, community language program classes are happening. At-large classes, I think the at-large counselors are hopefully hearing good things about that, and it's still going really good. We on our Cherokee Teacher Training Scholarship, we gained two new participants this fall, and so I'm excited about that. Our Master Apprentice program is, of course, doing good. We're doing a lot of things out in the garden and into canning blackberries, picking blackberries, stuff like that. We're getting them into the various seasons. We've changed our curriculum, or we've worked on our curriculum that's around the season, around the equinoxes, around the solstice. And so that's a part of that is our planting of corn. We didn't really advertise it too much this year, but we had a successful corn patch that kids was able to sing, put the corn in the right time. We had a few ceremonial people that did ceremonial fast before they did that, and it wasn't anybody sticking their chest out, but the idea that's happened, and we planted and gathered that right with accordance of what we know to do, or the best way we know how, was awesome. Hopefully next year does this as well. We're learning more about dubbing. There'll be a lot of cool things that will show up in the very near future about that. We're continuing to work more and more on our curriculum. We're building books. With them particular books, we're also putting little videos that's attached to them that Cherokee Films is working through. They're building these assets that's with a video game type personification, you may say, of the videos. What it also does is, if we ever do want to have a video game or whatever, we have all these humongous amounts of assets built that we've already made these different videos and these books with the individual animations that we're building. It will line up with a lot of our traditional stories and different things, and then we were breaking them down to different levels depending on what grade they're in. And so that will be there, and it'll be there for future generations. I think some of the assets we're building on digitally right now. Of course, we've continued to work on our dictionary app. There's a lot of things here that I could continue to talk about, but I know that we're running out of time. Speaker Services has 94 active projects and completed 159. If there's any questions, I'll try my best to answer them.
Any questions for Howard? Doesn't look like it.
I must have either talked too much, or I think Travis did such of a good job that we're all going to be standing in his shadow a little bit today. But God bless, and you guys have a wonderful day.
All right, up next is Community and Cultural Outreach with Savannah Smith.
CO Chair, Council. I believe you guys have my report. I'll take any questions at this time.
All right, Counselor Shot-Pouch.
On the restoration cemetery funds, does that help with fencing around cemeteries?
Yes, ma'am, it could.
Okay. I have one in my area that whoever has property around it, the cows has been getting in their cemetery and knocking over headstones.
Oh, okay. What cemetery is that?
Jumper Cemetery.
Okay. I'll see if they've applied, and then I can get back with you. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I can get back with you on it. Oh, okay.
All right, any more questions for Savannah? Counselor Legg.
So is there additional funds for cemeteries besides the 500? Not just headstones, but like,
That's it.
it's just the 500?
It's just how they choose to.
Spend the 500?
Spend it,
I got
yes.
you. I got you, okay.
Any more questions for Savannah? Speaker Kidwell.
Hi, Savannah. Hey, great job this past weekend. I mean, I know that getting all that together, getting everything down there, getting going, it's a lot of work, but you guys do a great job over there, and really appreciate you. The upcoming ID event, I think you mentioned one the other day. Where are the two that are coming up? Is one in Arkansas or?
We actually have one today in Kenwood.
Kenwood?
And then on Monday, we have one in Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield, okay. All right, that's what I need to know. Thank you.
All right, Counselor Sam.
Thank you, Chair. A couple questions. Do we have contact points for every organization? I know that's one of the questions I normally get in my area is, hey, who do we contact? And I knew we had conversations on some of them don't want to probably use personal numbers, but do we have something established there?
We do. I think we finally got an approved public list to send out. So we
Okay,
can get
and
that to
also
you.
kind of a follow-up on, I know like the one on Blackjack Street and still working on it, but I've been getting calls, so it's kind of threw it out there. Do we have like a information sheet for each organization that shows what they offer or what they offer to the community? I know sometimes they're like, hey, can we use it for a certain activity, whether it's birthdays, cultural activity, or just anything they can think of for the community?
We don't have anything currently that has what every building will do, but we could get you the contact list and then maybe reach out to them. I know that most of them do have like policies, procedures for their building and you know what they offer. But other than that, that's all we got.
Okay, all right, thank you, Chair.
All right, any more questions? Counselor Black Fox Qualls.
If you can hang around and speak with you after the meeting.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Counselor McGady.
If you could stick around for me too for just a few minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any more questions? And just following up on Counselor Sam's request, when you have that information, could you send that to Gail so she could
Yeah.
distribute that? But, all right, with that, any more questions? Thank you, Savannah. Great report.
Thank you, guys.
All right, moving on to Cherokee National Treasures Advisory Committee with Vivian Cottrell.
My name is Vivian Cottrell. I'm the chair for the Cherokee National Treasures Advisory Committee. And on my report this month, and you should have a copy, we have the Saline Courthouse Museum exhibit for Louisa's Soap in basketry. It's a life of learning. And it opened September 16th, and it'll run through January 10th. She's more than a basket maker, but she also does fabulous beadwork that I've noticed on several individuals in leadership. Very good. During the national holiday, there were 2 national treasures confirmed. Mary Aitson in basketry, and Ron Mitchell in painting. If you haven't heard, Mary passed away September 19th in Oklahoma City. And if you would have a moment of prayer for Mary.
Yes, we'll have a moment of silence, please.
Thank you so much. July 26th, which was Saturday, we had the National Treasure Student Art Show at the Chota Center, and we had 15 treasures, mentors in attendance, and we had 39 students with their artwork for show and sell. And we were there, and we found that it was very successful, and we do appreciate you all being able to attend. Oh yeah, we'll also have the sign-ups in October, next month, for the National Treasures. They start signing up for the mentorship program in October. Okay, and then at the National History Museum in Tahlequah, there's a new exhibit. It's since the first fire. Will be on exhibit August 19th through I think March 2026. And the American Art Collective podcast, I was a featured, I was interviewed during the Santa Fe Indian Market, which was, it was a 20-minute podcast. And I talked more about my baskets and the history, and it was a very informative interview. And let's see, then we had Troy Jackson at the Anna Mitchell Cultural Welcome Center in Veneta, excuse me. His exhibit will close October 5th, and it's a very, we've been there too, to see the exhibits. We try and make our rounds through all the exhibits, and it's very informative. His work is, all the works that are on exhibit are very overwhelming, actually, with the knowledge and their creativity. And his exhibit is Mercy in the Details. Let's see, we meet every month on the third Thursday at 2 p.m. at the Cultural Tourism Office, that way. And wanted to invite you to the Cherokee Art Market, which is October 10th through the 12th. We have 12 Cherokee National Treasures that will be having their booths there. I'll be one too. Um, so, and it's always an honor to represent our basketry culture at the different art markets that I attend across the country. I try very much. We also have, and it's not there, but write it down for future. In December 11th is our annual National Treasure Luncheon. It's usually a couple hours, and I want to say it's probably from 11 to 1, but I'm not sure. We just had the details on that. And that's the end of my report. Do y'all have any questions for me?
All right, any questions for Vivian? Doesn't look like it. Great
Okay.
report. Thank you. And
All right, well,
I just wanted to thank you for that moment for Mary Aitzen. She was really beloved, and I knew
Yeah.
the family very well.
Yeah.
And they texted me when she did pass, and
Mm-hmm.
they said that she talked about how much that meant to her that
Yep.
night with the being a national treasure. So
Mhm.
thank you all for your work and what you guys do for everybody. So, I mean, if you don't care, before you leave, could you send that date and information of the luncheon to Gail so
Okay.
she can put it on our calendars?
Let's see, I think Mary's services are this Saturday.
This Saturday?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And it's in Woodward.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, moving on. Old business, none pending, new business. Counselor Grass, will you take that one for me? What? Yeah.
Center Act of 2020, oh, sorry. Cherokee Heritage Center Act of 2020, 2025 amendments. Looks like we have sponsors, Johnny Kidwell, Kevin Easley, Joshua Sam, Sasha Black Fox Balls, Daryl Legg, Clifton Hughes, Julia Coates, Joe Deere, Danny Callison, Melvin Shop Pouch, Cody Poindexter, Canessa T, Uriah Grass, Kendra McGady, Dora Patskowski, Lisa Hall, and Ashley Grant. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion. Thank you.
Second.
All right, and any discussion? At this time, I'd like to invite Chief Hoskin up to the podium if he has any words to say about the upcoming new Heritage Center.
Well, Councilman, thank you. Mr. Speaker, council members, thank you. I know there's been a presentation, and I just appreciate the support of the council. And we had feedback. I think Councilor Petskowski may have raised an issue of sort of public notice. And in addition to the public notice we've given, based on that feedback, we've been thinking about other ways we can engage during a time period I just want to bring back to your attention, which is under the legislation, assuming it passes this evening. It says that there is I believe, a 30-day period of review and comment that began no earlier than the 15th of this month. That's the date on which we provided the whole plan to the council and to the public via press release. So what we think we would take the occasion to do is to say on social media, again, invite some feedback. We need to develop a tool to do that so we can manage it better, but we're going to follow up on that issue. I think the plan is wonderful. Really, the Cherokee National Historical Society, presently seated, and then the predecessor board really deserves some credit and recognition, because let's remember that the Historical Society, the original body, did what they didn't have to do, which is to say, yes, we want to cede sort of control and ownership, but they did it because they're servants to the people and wanted for the greater good. And so that happened 5 years ago, in addition to the legislation. The current Historical Society, of course, has been working for the last 5 years. So I'm excited about the program. I'm excited that there'll be an opportunity. And Travis, I don't know if this was discussed, and Molly, the 3D rendering will be available at some point in the near future. But we've got some good things to show you all and the public as we go forward through this period. Okay. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, sir. All right, without any further discussion, Shelley, will you please do roll call vote?
Clifton Hughes, Johnny Kidwell,
Yes.
Daryl Legg, Kendra McGady,
Yes.
Dora Petzkowski, Cody Poindexter,
Honey.
Joshua Sams, Melvina Shot Pouch, Condessa Teehee,
Yes.
Sasha Black Fox Qualls,
Yes.
Danny Callison, absent. Julia Coates,
Yes.
Joe Deere, absent. Kevin Easley, Ashley Grant,
Yes.
Uriah Grass, Lisa Hall.
Yes.
The motion to approve passes.
All right, thank you, Shelley. I meant to say yes, not a honey, sorry. Any announcements pertaining to culture coming up in our communities? I've got one on October 4th at noon at Carson Park in Stillwell. We are celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day from noon to, 8, I think. Lots of food and Cherokee artists and vendors and stickballs, so you guys come out if you can. Yeah, we'd love to celebrate with you all, and I think that's about all I have. Councilor McGady.
That reminds me, I'd like to mention that the NAFI, Native American Fellowship in South Coffeyville, is having their Unity Gathering this weekend. It begins at 10 a.m., and I think it goes till about 4 or 2 this year, yes. And I certainly hope that some of you might get the opportunity to make it down there. It's a great organization, and of course, District 11, so I hope to see some of you there if you can. Thank you.
All right, without anything else, I need a motion and a second for adjournment. All in favor? All right, we are adjourned.